everyone, and welcome to a series of interviews for Open Conference. My name is Matina Tsavli, and I am very happy and proud to be part of the organizing committee of Open Conference. Today, with me, we have George Hantzaras, who is the director of the cloud engineering at Citrix. Hi, George, and welcome.
Hi, Matina. Thanks for having me here.
You're welcome. So, George, you are a young entrepreneur, you have a strong technical background, and you already have a leadership position at Citrix. I would like to know, could you please give us a short insight of your way to success? Did opportunities came your way, or did you identify the opportunities and chase them?
Well, I believe there's luck, there are the opportunities, and I think there's also what you do with them. So I think it's a combination of things. Of course, I think I was lucky enough to get a few opportunities my way, but I was always ready to go the extra miles, try new stuff, risk a lot, and put in the extra hours, the extra effort to make opportunities work. And although I was fortunate enough to have opportunities, there were many times that I had to create the opportunities for myself. So I think it's a combination of things.
Well said. Well, how do you continue to grow and develop as a leader?
Well, I specifically in our space, I think if you believe that you know everything, if you believe that you are the expert in a field, then it's really dangerous to become obsolete. We are in a field where even technologies can become obsolete in 6 or 9 or 12 months time. So I think the most important thing is to continuously want to learn and always want to improve. I think that's the way to go.
Would that also be an advice for a young person that just got into an IT leadership position?
Yeah, definitely. But I think the two most important things for a young leader would be, first of all, I think that the most common mistakes among young leaders is that they cannot stop doing things, and as a leader, you have to learn how not to do things. You have to learn to see other people doing things, guide them. So that's the hardest part. And the second part, in my opinion, is that it's all about people. The only way to succeed as a leader is to bring out the best of your team.
Right, yes. During the last years, there has been a fundamental shift that companies want to move their infrastructure to online. Could you tell us why that happens and if these companies should go online and move to cloud infrastructures? Is it something that only small companies, for example, or big companies are eligible for these change?
Well, since the end of the 90s, we've been talking about the first ever mentions of cloud computing. So it's more than 2 decades now that cloud computing exists. So the first thing is that we should stop thinking about it being, this innovative process or this risky process. Cloud computing is mature enough. There is the infrastructure in place. There are the services in place to make it work. So I think all of the companies of all types could use cloud computing services, infrastructure, and so on. And the reasons are numerous. So it can be as simple as just financial benefits, so cost savings, capex reduction. You don't need this expensive infrastructure. You don't need specialized staff to operate this infrastructure. But it can also be business continuity reasons, outsourcing your risk, your compliance, your security needs to guys that do it better. You probably can't do it as well as Microsoft or Citrix.
That was my next question, actually. Is it secure enough?
Yeah, it's in most cases it's even more secure. Yeah, because you know that when you move your infrastructure in Azure, for example, there are a huge amount of engineers there that make sure of your security, which you didn't have access to those engineers before. So it's a lot better.
And could you please tell us how Citrix leverages cloud technologies?
Yeah, actually, Citrix is one of the original pioneers of cloud computing. So almost 20 years ago, in the early 2000s, Citrix introduced thin clients, which is it's the predecessor of desktop as a service and all these micro apps as a service. So this is kind of like the predecessor of SaaS computing, sort of say. So Citrix has been a pioneer in this area for a lot of years. Now, internally, behind the scene, there's a huge cloud engineering organization that makes sure about the security and putting the infrastructure in place and enabling our customers to actually do this hard transition from on-premise to cloud environments.
Right. And such a nice pass. Now that we talked about Citrix, Citrix is known that has a people-centric mindset and promotes work-life balance. And the motto is that an employer can do anything from anywhere. Could you please tell us if the pandemic has affected in some way your work-life balance or the productivity of the employees or the sales of the product? And if you've found some obstacles, how did you overcome them?
Well, our motto being building the future of work, the future being today. We were prepared for this a few years back, so we would expect nothing less from ourselves than to thrive in this environment. So the productivity and in all terms, the company is performing perfectly. That being said, it would be kind of naive to not expect work-life balance to be kind of compromised. We all are 24/7 in our houses. So yeah, balances are kind of shaken by the situation, but I haven't seen in any other company this type and this amount of support from executive leadership and people operations organizations to the well-being of the employees, and I think that's the best in working in Citrix.
As for me, I work also in the IT sector, and I think that the work-life balance needs to come first at these times.
Yeah, and it's important. You constantly see management pushing to that direction and assisting the engineers to do so. So you know that this is a priority for Citrix.
Mm-hmm. Now, a few things about Open. Open wants to reduce brain drain via interconnecting the local IT ecosystem. What advice would you give to a young student that wanted to pave his own future here?
Well, and going back into the first question, I think that the future is something that you can build it on your own. It's really important, I think, for young engineers to kind of be what I say, a yes man. Always, when an opportunity comes, jump on board, even if you're not sure. Take risks, fail a lot, be happy about failing, and just know how you can put things back together and stand up and keep on trying.
I really like this approach, actually. Yes.
Happy to hear that.
Well, you are a speaker, invited speaker in our Open conference that is going to be held on May 20th, 2021. And could you please give us an insight about your speech?
Yeah, so my speech is about observability and what we call the MELT stack, which is metrics, event, logs, and traces, which is the four pillars of observability. And I want to focus on how this has changed for companies as they move to the cloud. As we've moved to the cloud, we've changed deployment models. We've moved to containerizing applications using cloud native deployment methods, microservices, and so on. So this has changed a lot the way we can look in our application performance, in our system health, and so on. So this is what we're going to tackle in my speech.
Is it a technical speech?
It's gonna be, yeah, a bit. So we're gonna try and be a bit technical about it, but we're gonna also try to for someone that is kind of new to observability to understand what we're talking about.
Okay, well, great. Thank you very much for being here. And it is our pleasure to have you as a
Thank
speaker.
you. And I'm really looking forward to the conference.
And I'm really, really looking forward to attending your speech.
Thank you.
So everyone, that's all from us. Thanks for watching. Please be tuned in our YouTube channel for our next videos. And we are waiting for a conference to come. It's going to be held on May 20th. And we are waiting for all of you to come. Stay safe.